Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. We have the 2020 feature, sports with Brian Camp, and entertainment news with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
PGIF, thank God it's Friday. It comes around every week, right? It seems like it comes around every day. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again. Another Friday here in New York. And that's where we originate. We're coming to you live. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and I am going to be with you for the next full hour. And for this full hour, we're going to get together as usual. All of you who are basically the staples to this show, you already know what goes on. We got a lot of new people that come in each week, and we want to make sure that we let them understand what's going on today. And we come on every week, you guys. For all of you newbies, we come on every week at this time. And for our time is Eastern, so it's a little bit after 8 o'clock right now. It's 8 o'clock right here in New York City. And you may be in a different time zone. And so therefore, if you look at your clock, you see that each time at this particular time at the clock that you're looking at right now, that's the time we come on in your area. However, it's always an hour. And for those of you who are here for the first time, well, this is what we do. I'm the host of the show, Coffee Hour. And of course, being the host of the show, I have to get things rolling and get conversations and topics going. And between all of that, you can chime in as well anytime you like. It's all a matter of electronics, and that goes with your keyboard. You're watching us on your computer, you're watching us on your cell phone, or maybe you're watching us on your tablet. They all have keyboards, and you use those keyboards if you want to say something in particular. Use it, let your fingers do the walking, type it in. I will see you right there on the big screen, and of course I will acknowledge. And if there's anything in particular you want to talk about, any topic of the day, we'll always welcome you to do that. We always welcome your topics, and we will all do that together. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, if you're watching us on Facebook, we're all over the place. 3 places. We're Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We want to get that first started. All right. And with that in mind, if you're watching us on Facebook, we want to give you the opportunity to tag your friends. You know how to do that, right? All you have to do is tag your friends this show. And when they see that notification come up, they'll know it's from you. And what they'll do is they'll click it on because they trust you, right? They'll click on that notification and it brings them right here where we are right now. So they'll get a chance to talk to you. They'll talk to me. They'll talk to everyone that's involved here. And we're just one big happy family. And that's how we do it. And so get them to come in right now. You know, as many as you want. It doesn't matter. You know, it could be 1 or 2, 3, but the more the merrier, and as many as you want. Bring them in, and if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, maybe they'll be full-fledged members just like you. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is just keep following us. You don't have to do anything in particular. Just keep following us. I want to say hi to you guys on Instagram. Just keep following us. Tell your family and friends about us. And let them in on the action. If they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll be back again and again, just like you. Now, for all of you who watch us on YouTube, I always encourage you to go onto my YouTube channel, go there and subscribe to us, okay? Because there's a benefit of subscribing to us. Now, let's say, for instance, you're here for the first time and you're on YouTube and you want to make a subscription, you want to subscribe. And when I say make a subscription, I don't mean take money out of your pockets. It's nothing like that. It sounds like that, right? But it's nothing like that. It's free. The only thing that you have to do is take your mouse with the arrow pointed to where it says subscribe, click onto it, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes. No money involved, no nothing involved. You don't have to make a subscription to TV Guide, which they don't have anymore anyway. Nothing like that. So all you have to do is click on. And with that, from here on in, whenever you come online and we happen to be on the air and you didn't really think about it, you're unconscious about it, you know, I forgot all about it. We will remind you. The pop-up will come up. It's a notification that brings you right to us, and all you have to do is click onto that notification, and it brings you right to the channel, and you won't miss the show. And even if we so much as post a video or some sort, anything like that, doesn't matter. You know, you'll still get notification. So do that right now as we speak. You don't have to blink an eye. It's right there, right in front of your nose. Subscribe, click, and that's it. That's all it takes. So thank you guys for joining us for another Friday. We had told you last night on the air, we want to talk back live, that we will probably do the show from Grand Central. The weather didn't look too promising to us. We didn't want to take a chance and going out on our rowboat and being capsized or anything. So we're doing it from the studio today, but we were going to do it live from Grand Central Station. And maybe we'll do it next week, who knows? But the show is on anyway. It's still on, and we're going to do the regular things in conjunction with talking to you and interacting with you. We do our regular features here, and not just a few minutes from now, not too long in this particular half hour. We're going to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina, you're right there? Okay. Charlotte, North Carolina, that's where Brian is. And of course, you know, with technology the way it is, we are able to link up. They've been able to do that for years. Link up with other people in different parts of the country, in different parts of the world. Or in this case, is another part of another city. And that's Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to be linking up with him. And he's going to come along and bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update that's coming along. We're also today going to link up in Portland, Maine, DJ Pete. He's going to be along. We will have him along too. We'll link up with him later on in the program, and he has entertainment news. And that's another one of our special features too. And of course, that's all coming up. And also later on in the program, as I always do, I give you those movies of the week, my picks of the week for your weekend. And what I mean by that, a lot of people do a lot of things on the weekend. One of the things that you may want to do on the weekend, besides doing whatever you normally do, is catch up on some movies. Now, if that's the case, then I have a few movies that I want to add to your bucket list of what to watch for this weekend. A whole lot of great things are coming along, and we want you involved in it. Remember that all of the opinions and the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view of the opinion of all the people on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media or broadcast facility. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show started by raising our cups, because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So, excuse me while I shoot up. How's yours? Oh boy. Nice and soothing going down. Nice and soothing. Whatever it is you have, it doesn't have to be coffee. A lot of people are not coffee drinkers, they're cocoa drinkers. As a matter of fact, you know, hear the raspiness in my voice. That's not old age. My voice has always been raspy, but it's a little more raspy than ever. So I decided with a little tea with a little honey in it. It is. That's all it is. It's a little tea with a little honey in it today. But it's on the coffee hour. So the coffee hour does not necessarily mean that you have to drink coffee. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to drink tea or cocoa. It doesn't even necessarily have to say anything, you know? You can drink milk, whatever it is. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. That's all. That's what that's about. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being along with us. We would love to have been at Grand Central today to do the show. We did it last week, as a matter of fact. And when we were doing the show at Grand Central last week, we're kind of like feeling things out, because remember when we started this show, The Coffee Hour, it didn't start in the studio like we're doing today, right? It started on the outside. We always did it on the outside. And summer, winter, or fall, it was always away on the outside. Now, how we worked it back then is that in the summertime, we used to be at this place called Cafe Central, which was right on the grounds of the building of the MedLife building, which used to be called the Pan Am building. All right. Now, Cafe Central no longer exists. The foundation is still there. That structure is still there. It's just that they didn't even find a new venue or a new restaurant to open. Nothing like that is there anymore until they open up something. And when they do open up something new, it may be different. We don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. But it's been all of that time. And when the pandemic came down, that's when everything went downhill. A lot of businesses went out or transferred or just moved elsewhere. And so there's no longer this Cafe Central, but everything is still there. A few times they laid out tables and chairs for people to sit there as if there was a Cafe Central there, but no longer exists. And then in the wintertime, we used to go indoors at a place called Urban Space, which still exists. But even Urban Space is going through a few changes, with venues. They're canceling some venues and putting new venues in. The place is still there, but it's a whole different ball game now. I remember we used to do our shows from there now. It's a whole different ball game now because everything is depending on Wi-Fi, stronger Wi-Fi now, which, we talked about that. But Cafe Central, they had their Wi-Fi. And Urban Space, they have no Wi-Fi. And I checked into that. The only Wi-Fi that they have is for their employees. So we won't be able to broadcast indoors. It would be nice if we were able to do that. It really would be nice if we were able to do that, but unfortunately we can't do that. So in the meantime, when we do our outings like this, we do the outings coming from Grand Central. And while we're doing all of that, we're still looking for other places, maybe want to bounce around, go to different places like that, and do the show on the outside. But I love the idea of doing the show on the outside in a place where people pass by and they say hello to you. We used to do that. But, it's been that long. And as I said, when the pandemic reached us, it just canceled out a lot of things. It just took us all out. So we were no longer able to broadcast at Cafe Central. And then now that the pandemic is subsided a bit, we're back to normal in some sense. There is no Cafe Central because the pandemic took a lot of things out of the equation and out of the loop of everything. But we're here, we're still here. The show keeps going on. Whether we do it on the outside or the inside, we do it right here. So we want to thank all of you guys for being along right here for this edition of the Coffee Hour. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, excuse me while I shoot up. Oh, that's delicious. I hope everything is going great on your part. And we look forward to a good weekend. DJ Pete is here, as I said, and in advance, he left us his weather forecast. So here's his weather forecast right now, DJ Pete's weather forecast, because he's very diligent about that. In Portland, Maine, he's got mostly cloudy skies today, and we've got a high around 66 degrees. That's can't be the high, right? Rain, it just says today is going to be rainy, and it's high 66 overnight will be 64. Okay, it's 66 for the high today in Portland, Maine, and it's 64 for the overnight for the low. And let's see, out of the southeast, they have 14 miles per hour. The humidity is 100% dew point. So there you go. That's what's happening in Portland, Maine. And for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who would like to get involved in conversation too, we ask you to do the same thing. That's not something that we actually demand of you. It would be nice, if you can give us your weather forecast, if you come in and indulge in conversation with us, give us your weather forecast. We will acknowledge your weather forecast. We will acknowledge you. And because we want to compare notes on what's happening here in New York, the weather here in New York, compared to the weather where you are, and the weather in Portland, Maine, and the weather in Charlotte, North Carolina, and elsewhere, things like that. We would love for you to give us your weather forecast. Now, for those of you who live in the New York City area or somewhere in the vicinity of New York City, don't worry about that because I will take care of that weather forecast for you. That's what I do. So you guys have dodged the bullet. You don't have to worry about that. You guys have dodged the bullet. So as a matter of fact, while we're on the subject of weather forecast, let me tell you about mine right now. Right now, what we have is 72 degrees. That's what we have right now here in New York City. We have 72 degrees and we've got cloudy skies. And we're going to get a lot of rain. There's a lot of rain coming along. And so here's what we have right now for those of you who are looking forward to the weekend. You got to follow suit and act accordingly. Okay, so this is what we have right now. It's going to be cloudy with scattered thunderstorms developing this afternoon. We'll have a high 79 degrees. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. So it dropped. Last hour, we looked back and kept track of it. It was, I think it was 70%. So it dropped to 60% of rain. So that's getting better. For Friday night, tonight, okay, we got thunderstorms early, then mainly cloudy skies after midnight. We'll have a low 71 degrees. Winds will be light and variable, and chance of rain will be 80%. So the percentage go back up again. That's for Friday night. That's tonight. And for Saturday, you've got partly cloudy skies, high 84 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. No rain in the forecast at that particular point. Saturday night, clear skies. We'll have a low 64 degrees or 67 degrees. Winds will be north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we get ready to wrap up our weekend on a Sunday, the day of rest, everybody sit back, relax, and enjoy whatever you can with the weather. It gets better. You can go to church without an umbrella. And it looks like this. It's going to be partly cloudy skies, slight chance of rain, just a slight chance of rain. I don't think there's going to be a damper. So maybe you want to take the umbrella just in case, but it just says a slight chance of rain. High around 80 degrees. Winds will be north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we repeat, our current temperature here in New York is 72 degrees. That's what we have, 72 degrees outdoors. And that's our New York weather. So for those of you who have that kind of weather, kind of act accordingly when you go out. There are certain parts of the night or certain parts of the day, maybe you want to tote the umbrella with you and keep things rolling for you, okay? Thank you so much for being along with us. We haven't had any more information. I haven't heard any more information, but if you have, maybe you might want to relay that information to us. But right now, you already heard about that flight in Moscow with the flight that was moved to Moscow, from Moscow to St. Petersburg, and it crashed Wednesday. You heard about that crash Wednesday? Well, this sounds political to me. We don't know the outcome of it. We're going to not elaborate on too much because we don't really know. But the Russian emergency officials said that mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin was on the passenger list. All right. They didn't say whether or not he was on the flight. Now they're presuming him being dead right now. He's being presumed dead, but they found no body. They found no evidence of that, but they're just presuming that he's dead at this particular point. So far as I could see, or as far as I know, there was no further information on whether they found his remains or not. All right, they did find some bodies on that flight, but they didn't identify his body. So right now he's presumed dead. That's what the media says, presumed dead, but we haven't heard anything more about that. And a lot of people are talking about that. Oh, it must be an inside job. I'm not going to even go there. I'm not going to even elaborate on that because we don't know what's happening. But Vladimir Putin did send a message to his family with his condolences. All right. So as far as he knows, or as far as he's concerned, Prigozhin is dead as far as he's concerned. All right. Because if he's sending condolences out like that, we haven't heard any issues or anything. We haven't heard anything of the sort, whether or not he had gotten his body was found or anything. We haven't heard of anything like that, but we'll keep you informed. If we know anything before the show is over, we'll keep you abreast of that and let you know if we found out any more than that. And we're going to have to see how that goes. So whatever your thoughts are on that whole situation, that's only for you to think about, all right? Because the rest of us, we don't know. We don't know. So that's only for you to think about. And we'll see. We'll just have to see. Right now, what we're going to do, we're going to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now, as promised. Charlotte, North Carolina, Brian Camp is here. Latest developments in today's world of sports. I have no more to say about what I just said.
What did you just say?
I was talking about the plane accident.
Oh, yes, the plane act, right. That's an unfortunate thing. We just hope that, you don't want nobody to die or get killed. This is more of an international thing. I'm not saying that we should not be concerned, but that's an in-house thing that's going on over there in Russia. They're in the middle of a war, and can we have peace all over? I mean, why can't we just get along? We just can't, but we have our own problems in these United States of America. We have a situation that we all know about what happened last night, and it's sad. It's sad that we just not on one accord, and in many ways the Civil War is still going on. Believe it or not, the Civil War is still going on because we're fighting among ourselves.
No, well,
over what?
The only thing before we get to getting along and having peace and all that, we got a lot of cleaning up to do.
A lot.
But along the way, we could still exhibit peace and love to others. We could still be kind to each other on the way, but there's a lot of cleaning up to do. There's a lot of things that this country has to do to remain the status of what we know as the greatest country in the world. We have to continue to follow suit and be kind to others. And there's a lot of cleaning up to do.
And you know how we could start by doing that?
Right now?
By tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 60th anniversary on the March to Washington. 60 years tomorrow makes the anniversary. A lot has happened during that time. I was watching MSNBC this morning. That's beginning to be my favorite news cable station right now. Sorry, CNN. I still tune into you, but I tune into all of them. And the Reverend Al Sharpton was talking, and Dr. King's daughter-in-law was on there too, as well with some other leaders, and one of the Jewish leaders was on there too. The march on, the 60th anniversary of the March to Washington was only against people of color, Black and brown. It was on Jews as well too. They've been mistreated. They share the same, how can I say? They share the same pain that we have. Enslaved. They were enslaved once too.
Slavery and Holocaust was similar. Not exactly, the same, but it was similar. But you get the idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get technical, the Jews suffered slavery way back during the biblical times when they were enslaved by the Egyptians, and of course, the year 1619 in Jamestown, Virginia, when the first slaves landed on U.S. soil and parts of Europe. So back to the march. The marches demonstrates not only the people of color, Blacks, brown, Jews, sexual preference of gays as well too. So this march is very important. So we could start from there. We could start by and overlook what happened last night. Let's last night is last night. That's not going to go away until something is going to be determined. But I think we should focus on us getting along first. And that's more important right now to me. To me, it is.
You got to bring everyone in the league. Everyone. As you just mentioned, every color, every religious background,
Yeah.
every sexual orientation background. We got to bring everybody into the loop.
Yeah.
No, you can't ostracize anyone. That's not what this country is all about. That's not what I was told that what this country was all about. And I was told this country was all about freedom and liberty for all. That's what I was told.
That's why it's called the United States.
Right.
When everybody is united,
Yep.
States of America.
That's
But
right.
you know, we still live in a country where people still think that the war's still going back in 1861, and you know, and then we fast forward to the settlers settling in and push out the Native Americans, where President Andrew Jackson signed the bill to move the Native Americans off their land and to share it for the settlers. And you know, politics even go on to even sports. You know, a lot of people. I joined this here debate site where people are angry because they changed the name of the Washington Commanders. I mean, the Washington Redskins to the Washington Commanders, and they're making a big thing. And I asked, "Are you a fan?" No, I'm not a fan. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. I'm a Patriots fan. So what does that have to do with you? You know? And of course, it got a little dirty. It got a little ugly, you know. Oh, I know a lot of Native Americans, they don't feel that way. You can't speak for an ethnic group. If they feel that their name should be changed, it should be changed. But back to the march, 60th anniversary tomorrow. Tune in. The Reverend Al Sharpton will interview Vice President Kamala Harris tomorrow in the afternoon on the show. So we will tune in and let's keep everybody safe. They will demonstrate, as the Reverend Al Sharpton said, you will see a difference between January 6th and tomorrow. It'll be different. So, but good morning to you all out there who's out there listening, tuning in globally. Hope everybody's doing well. It is 81 degrees out here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it's going to go up to 95 degrees. It's going to be hot. You see, I already got my ceiling fan. Oh yeah, I ain't put on the AC. I want the ceiling fan. I don't want to catch cold yet, but it's going to be a blistering day as we come down to the end of August, and New York City is going to have a busy weekend next weekend as Labor Day weekend comes, as their most colorful parade of all time is the West Indian Day Parade weekend. Will start out on Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. So if you're in the New York area, that's a wonderful parade. In sports, the NBA, the LA Clippers preseason opening against the Utah Jazz will be played at the University of Hawaii at Manoa on October 8th, with all the proceeds from the game being donated to the Hawaii Community Foundation. Maui Strong Fund to benefit wildfires, because you know they're still going through a difficult time right now. Many lives are lost, many homes were lost, and we just keep them in our prayers. The relief would be in Lahaina, Hawaii. Now the Clippers, who's the NBA team, will spend training camp in Hawaii beginning October 3rd and during the week leading up to the game. Now, the LA Clippers Foundation and the Hawaii Youth Tourism Authority will assist with wildfire recovery efforts and renovate a local at a school. So this is a great thing that the LA Clippers, they're going to Hawaii. I believe the president was there this week in Hawaii, giving his support as well. Speaking about Hawaii, former basketball player Don Nelson, was a former Boston Celtic and NBA coach for 31 years, has purchased during his coaching years, purchased 6 rental homes many years ago in Maui for the people who they could live rent-free. He's doing this to help out, as he went on to say on the news that, we need lots of help. During his career, he visited Hawaii a lot. And then after his retirement, he decided he was going to buy a beautiful home in Hawaii. So everybody, please try to help whatever you can. In baseball, this was a late segment. I didn't say this last night, but coming up soon, I think sometime in the next couple of weeks, Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden numbers will be retired on the same day. When the Mets in their heydays in the 80s, when they won the World Series back in 1986, Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry was New York's phenomenon, where they, one was a pitcher, one was a baseball player. They was setting New York City on fire at that time, and the New York Yankees weren't good at all during that time. And the Mets was the talk of the town. Unfortunately, those two players, they had a little crisis in their life, and they fell off the wagon. But we're not here to judge. They're still here. They are recuperating, even till this very day. And we just applaud them. Let's applaud the New York Mets for retiring these two baseball phenomenons. Telephone numbers supposed to be sometime at Citi Field in the next couple of weeks. This day in sports, August 25th, 1956. To make room for Enos Slaughter, New York Yankees release the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto. Yes. 1960, the AFL begins placing players' names on the back of their jerseys. 1985, speaking of which we was just talking about, New York Met Dwight Gooden becomes the youngest pitcher to win 20 games at 20 years, 9 months, and 9 days. Yes. And in 1986, Oakland A's Mark McGwire hits his first home run, his first major league home run. Yes. Birthdays, 1927, the late Althea Gibson, tennis player, won 7 Grand Slam titles, was born in Clarendon County, South Carolina. Yes, South Carolina, where they're known for their rice. 1928, Darrell Johnson, Major League Baseball player, was born in Horace, Nebraska. 1946, Charlie Sanders, NFL wide receiver, was born in Richardson, North Carolina. 1946, Raleigh Fingers, remember him with the curly mustache? Yes, Hall of Fame reliever, was born in Steubenville, Ohio. 1965, Cornelius Bennett, NFL linebacker, was born in Birmingham, Alabama. 1966, Albert Bell, Major League outfielder, was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. 1970, Robert Ory, NBA forward, was born in Harford County, Maryland. He has 7 NBA titles. And in 1972, Marvin Harrison, NFL wide receiver who caught touchdown passes for Peyton Manning, was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a busy, busy day.
You mean to tell me Raleigh Fingers was born in Steubenville, Ohio? Wow.
Hey, yeah.
When I think of Steubenville, Ohio, I think about Dean Martin. That's where he's from.
Oh, really? I never knew he was from Ohio.
Yep.
Wow.
Steubenville, he grew up in a tough area of Steubenville. When Dean Martin grew up, one of the things that he wanted to be was a gangster. He didn't have, this was before his conquest of wanting to be an entertainer. He actually wanted to be a gangster. And they said that Dean Martin, I didn't know Dean Martin. I mean, I've had, from what I know, just like the rest of the world, about Dean Martin and his entertainment status. But they said when he was a little boy, he wanted to be the tough guy. And they said he was a tough guy too. They said he was pretty tough.
And you would never know it either. You would never know it. Watching him as a kid, he seemed like he was such a humble guy. Of course, obviously, he's one of the Rat Pack guys, with him and Joey Bishop and Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and the rest of those guys, But he was, he doesn't get mentioned a lot for being an excellent, great singer. He grew up during the time of Tony Bennett and Sinatra and other great singers during that era, you know.
Now he was only known for boozing, which by the way, he never did a lot of.
I know that was just more of an act than anything else.
That was his persona, you know. And when he went on that stage with the booze in his hand, 90% of the time it was apple juice.
You know, I would love to see a skit. I don't know if they have it. I'm going to have to go on YouTube to see if Dean Martin ever did a skit with Albert Brooks.
Oh,
the two drunks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did that.
Oh, they did, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he had Foster Brooks. You're talking about
Foster Brooks. Foster Brooks. Yeah.
He played a good drunk.
Yeah,
he played a good drunk. I mean, he was on the Dean Martin roast, and he was on the Dean Martin show. Yeah, they did a skit together. They're standing at the bar. They did a couple of skits together. Yeah, it's
that's kind of good. I gotta look that up. If you have anything, send it to me. I mean, oh gosh, that was so funny. they were great.
And they're great. But see, Dean Martin, that was his thing. See, the show business of Dean Martin, a lot of people, when Dean Martin went on his own, we're making this to another issue here. But when Dean Martin went on his own, they thought that Jerry Lewis, that Dean Martin wasn't going to be good without Jerry Lewis. And it just turned out differently. They both succeeded, you know. But
both succeeded, yeah.
Dean Martin and Dean, like I said, Dean Martin didn't take a lot of crap from a lot of people. He didn't even take it from Sinatra.
Yeah.
You know, if Sinatra told the Rat Pack be there, and if Dean Martin didn't want to go, he wouldn't go, because Dean Martin was like a very private person. He was a family-oriented person. He loved being with his family. Loved being home. He loved being home.
Yep.
So these are the things, a lot of the things that you hear about show business people, like a lot of the negative things a lot of people hear about show business people, sometimes it's not true. And sometimes it's the opposite. Like they talked about James Cagney. They said James Cagney, you know, he was nothing like that tough guy.
I know.
He was nothing like that. James Cagney was a farmer in Virginia. You know, he stayed home. He wasn't a Hollywood guy. He didn't go out partying and drinking with the rest of the guys out there in Hollywood. He didn't do anything. And he never even said, "You dirty rat."
I know. He was one of my favorite actors back then. I still watch a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
Angels with Dirty Faces, The Roaring Twenties, The Oklahoma Kid, with him going against Humphrey Bogart and Edgar G. Robinson, and great talent.
I'm gonna do a show one day about these actors that we're talking about, and talk about the real side of those actors, because they have some positive sides about them. Even Humphrey Bogart, he didn't do a lot of that partying either. He loved to drink, but he liked to do it at home and on his yacht. He was a sailor.
Yeah,
I can go on and on about this stuff, you know, but anyway, weekend is coming up, and you got a good one coming up too?
No, this is gonna be, I got some parts I gotta fix on my smokers, so get ready for, in case of anything occurs for Labor Day for next weekend, I'll be ready and prepared. But other than that, it's gonna be a quiet weekend, doing a little house cleaning. Go back to work on Monday with the kiddies. So school starts out here on Monday.
School slope starts over again. Oh God. Okay, well, lots of luck on that. School starts Monday.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to tell me whether or not you will be here at your regular time or not.
I will let you know day to day.
Yeah.
It's a day to day.
Good enough. All right. Until then, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you then.
Everybody stay safe. See you later, Pete, and everybody else enjoy. Be safe.
All right. That was Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, he's here every Friday and bringing you the sports. And of course, if you have any questions, I meant to say that if you have any sports questions, ever have any sports related questions, all you have to do is ask. And while he's here online, and even if you have one right now, you can always get the information or the question to him, and he'll be able to answer it for you. So I'm glad that you guys are along with us for this brand new day. here in New York City. My name is Frank Allan. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're going to be with you for the balance of the hour. And we want you to stay with us because we have more to come. And as I said, later on in the program, I am going to give you those movies, those Turner Classic movies that I think you guys are going to like. Movies that you haven't seen in a long time, or movies that may jog your memory. However, they are my picks of the week for your weekend. And if you decide to stay home and just relax and watch movies, well, then I have a few of the movies that I think you're going to like. So stand by for that. We got a lot. Okay, we're gonna move on. We moved on from Charlotte, North Carolina. From Charlotte, North Carolina, we come back to New York and then travel out to Portland, Maine, because DJ Pete is here and he's got all the entertainment news. DJ Pete, how are you?
Check 1 2. Hey, can you hear me?
I don't know. I didn't clean my ears out. No, I'm just joking. Just how you doing, Pete?
How you doing, Frank? Brian, everybody watching today. Yeah, it's like just raining here in Portland right now.
Oh, isn't it terrible? Pete, the weather, I don't know about in Maine or in Charlotte or anything like that, or any place around the country, but I know here in New York, the weather, the summer wasn't stabilized here.
No, I guess not.
It wasn't stabilized because you could always plan for something and do something and say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to go to the park, or I'm going to pack me a basket or just hang out. It's just like you have to play everything by ear every day.
Of course. It's I mean, everyone knows I work in live events like concerts and theater and things like that. And it's the hardest time doing an outdoor event. I mean, not just in Maine, but anywhere.
Yeah.
Really, and you're always gambling if the weather's going to be good for that. So yeah, it's a risk that everybody's got to take. But when the weather's good, those outdoor concerts are awesome.
You work around a lot of electricity. Wow.
Yeah, we certainly do. So here's what I got for this week. August 21st, 1904, William James Basie, also known as Count Basie, American jazz pianist, band leader, composer, formed his own orchestra, did a lot of great tunes over his lifetime. There's just so many, I can't figure out which ones to pick. They're all great music by Count Basie. Roland Janes, that's an interesting name. August 20th, 1933, American rockabilly guitarist, record producer, was a session guitarist at Sun Records. And he recorded with, Sam Phillips hired him. He recorded with Jerry Lee Lewis, Billy Lee Riley, Charlie Rich, Sonny Burgess, many other great Sun record artists back in the day. Dale Hawkins, August 22nd, 1936, pioneer American rock singer, songwriter, rhythm guitarist, often called the architect of swamp rock boogie. Okay. Let's see, where am I saying? Okay. Although his music was influenced by new rock and roll styles of Elvis Presley and Scotty Moore, who played with Elvis, he blended that unique heavy blues sound of Black Louisiana artists for his recordings of his swamp rock classic like Suzy Q. Let's see, who else do we have? Carl Mann, Mann, August 22nd, 1942, American rockabilly singer, pianist from West Tennessee, referred to as the last son of Sun, S-O-N of Sun Records, I guess. He was one of the final artists introduced by Sam Phillips before the end of Sun Records there. Let's see, who else do we have? John Lee Hooker, August 22nd, 1912. Some people get confused and call him Johnny Lee, but his real name is John Lee Hooker.
Mhm.
American blues singer, songwriter, guitarist. Rose to prominence performing an electric guitar adaptation of Delta blues, often incorporated other elements like talking blues and early North Mississippi hill country blues. Interesting how they break it down there. And he was ranked number 35 in Rolling Stone's 2015 of 100 greatest guitarists. Let's see, August 23rd, 1923, Miss Winona Carr, American gospel, R&B, and rock and roll singer-songwriter, recorded as Sister Winona Carr, when performing her gospel material. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, she has a really fun tune I like called Buju Makuja. I have no idea what that means, but it's a fun tune. And her gospel stuff and her R&B stuff is just phenomenal. It's great music. Let's see, who else do we have here? Finally, we have August 25th, 1949, Gene Simmons of the rock band Kiss. Co-founded it with Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Pete Chris in the early 1970s.
74 years old today, too.
He is, yes. Was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2014 as a member of Kiss. Yeah, and that's what I got. So I'm going to touch base on one small thing that's happening right now, and you're all aware of it, is the current SAG-AFTRA strike.
Oh, yes.
SAG stands for Screen Actors Guild, and they merged with another union called AFTRA, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. And one of the biggest things they are striking on is how some of these production companies in film wants to use a likeness of someone, meaning their image and their voice, and pay them a one-time fee and then use that over and over again. And they don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's downright dirty.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. In fact, a few weeks ago on August 9th, I went to Boston because the Boston or the New England chapter of SAG-AFTRA was staging a rally strike in the Boston Commons. So I went down to support the brothers and sisters and kin down there, and met a lot of great people. And it's interesting how one thing affects the other. So the Writers Guild went on strike. In big films and certain TV production, that affects the actors. The actors are on strike for other reasons. That affects the IATSE people. Now, I'm an IATSE member, but it doesn't directly affect me. It affects my brothers and kins that work in film and TV production. So like the camera people, the hair and makeup, the set builders, the lighting, all that stuff. Those people are out of work because of that right now. But it's an interesting time. And another interesting thing that a lot of people don't know, SAG-AFTRA is not completely on strike against everything. They're striking against certain group right now. Anyone that who is a SAG-AFTRA member, say an anchor at a TV station or radio station or something like that, that's totally separate. Those people are working and staying, and staying employed there. It's a total. SAG-AFTRA is not just against one. It's they have many things like our union does. So, but it's still an ongoing battle right now, as far as I know. I wish the best. Hope they can get back to the table and get back working again and get what they deserve.
Well, I wanted, maybe at some point, I am going to show my support. I'm going to go to Rockefeller Center, wear my shirt with them, and spend the day with those guys. They are my brothers and sisters too. I got birthdays coming up here. Let's see. Model Claudia Schiffer is 53 today. A supermodel, as they call her, Claudia Schiffer. She's 53 today. Michael Cohen, who we already know who Michael Cohen is. He's a lawyer. He spent time in jail because of that crap that went down. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he's 57 today. Happy birthday, Michael Cohen. He has his own podcast too. Congratulations. Actor Blair Underwood is 58 today. And country singer Billy Ray Cyrus is 62. Elvis Costello is 69. And the following people who are no longer with us: Pat Montino, the jazz guitarist, is 79, or would have been 79 today. Jazz musician Wayne Shorter would have been 80. Actor Sean Connolly would have been 83 today. Game show host Monty Hall would have been 102 years old. Former governor of Alabama, George Wallace, would have been 104 years old. And composer Leonard Bernstein would have been 105. And actor Van Johnson would have been 107 years old. Those are the birthdays I have today. And you have a show that we would never go off the air without talking about.
So you can catch me on WMPG Radio most Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. I usually alternate every other Tuesday, but George, who is the other disc jockey, and I, we sometimes have to change around. So if you don't hear George, you're going to hear me Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm also on radio airwaves online most Thursdays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time, radio-airwaves.co.uk. Find me on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And that's what I got today, Frank.
Okay, well, that's what it is. So I think we covered the whole 9 yards. So it's always a pleasure, Pete, to see you.
Awesome.
And I know that you got to be in the $1 million bracket by now. You work so much. You're a workaholic.
I wish I was.
If you were, you wouldn't even be here.
No, I wouldn't. No, I'd be sponsoring the show though. I definitely sponsor it.
Oh, boy. How about the poor struggling disc jockey?
Yeah.
I miss doing what I was doing. I miss being a disc jockey.
Yeah, I'm still doing it, and it's fun. It's my little thing.
Yeah.
Oh! I forgot. Recently, let me find it here quickly. What's today? Today's the what? What's today's date?
Today's the 25th.
25th. So just a few days ago, on I think it was the 20th. Yes, August 20th. It's National Radio Day.
Yeah, that was
US.
That was last week.
So tune into radio, whether it's online or on the air.
That's right.
To radio.
You got to push radio. Okay, Pete, look, we'll be talking to you soon. Take care of yourself.
All right, take care, Frank, Brian, everybody watching today. Have a good day, good weekend. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's DJ Pete. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, he's always with us. And whether he's here or not, he's always with us. Anyway, thank you so much for that, DJ Pete, with entertainment news. We look forward to hearing more. And being with all of you guys each week is always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're going to be with you until the top of the hour. We don't have long to go, but please keep all of those people that you know informed about our show. Let them in on it, tag them. For all of you watching us, Facebook, and of course, YouTube, Instagram, the whole 9 yards, let them know that we're here. Listen, if you want to get in touch with me personally, that's simple. I have two sources that you can do that. I have an email address and a telephone number, and all you have to do is apply yourself. And this is how you do it. Email address, all right, it's Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N, important information. Prod is P-R-O-D, that's short for production. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Or you can call 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. All you have to do is just contact us if you have anything about the show that you want to talk about, you want to critique the show, or even if you want to have any suggestions about the show. We're open to all of that. Just get in contact with us. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And again, all you have to do is to apply yourself. So let me give you that email address once again. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. If you are in the mood for hanging out at your house and just not doing anything but catching up on some old movies, well, allow me to do the honors of adding some movies to your bucket list of what to watch for the weekend. Because each week I make a pick of the week for your weekend of movies that I think you might like directly from Turner Classic Movies. I do have that for you. And I know you like them. I know you like them. So I'm going to give you my picks of the week right now, so you can see what's happening. Let's get started right now. Here's something that goes back, very rarely played on TV. It's going to be on TV over the weekend, and I think you're going to like it, especially if you like baseball, the way I do. All right. A great baseball movie called The Winning Team back in 1952, starring Doris Day and Ronald Reagan. And he plays the part of a baseball player called Grover Cleveland Alexander. A great movie. And that's on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can check that out on Turner Classic Movies. We also have a movie called The Glass Bottom Boat from 1966, also with Doris Day, along with Rod Taylor and Arthur Godfrey. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's coming on Sunday at 2 a.m. Eastern. That's Saturday night, Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern. And you can watch it then if you're a late nighter. It's a great movie too, and it's a color movie too. The Oklahoma Kid from 1939 with James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart. That's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's also on Sunday. You can check that out at 12:45 p.m. Eastern. And last but not least, a great movie from 1944, a movie that I've seen like a zillion times, and I'll watch it another zillion times if I have to Have It, Have Not, with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, all of these movies are fixed in a way so they won't be overlap. You can watch everyone in its entirety. And if you can't find the opportunity to watch it in real time, then what I suggest that you do, you can DVR them and watch them at your own convenience. Also, you can go to Turner Classic Movies and discover other movies that maybe I didn't mention. And that's not because I didn't like them. It's only because of the fact these are my picks of the week. And you can add those to your bucket list of what to watch too. Now, when you go on Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide, you see it all. And I think you'll like it. And you'll thank me for it too. Also, if you're going to watch, speaking of movies, picks of the week, you also have movies on demand. And those are movies of the past also, from A to Z. There are a lot of listed there. You can watch those as well. Also, if you like sporting events and you missed one, depending on the network, you can go back onto the network on demand. And again, you can go there on demand and check out what you missed the following day. And sometimes without commercials. Not all the time, sometimes, right? Wrestling matches, and you also have baseball games and the whole 9 yard. Documentaries for adults and some for children. And you have the networks, Lifetime movies, all of that. It's right there. So please, ladies and gentlemen, go there. Let me give you these movies one more time. I think you'll like them. It's The Winning Team with Doris Day, Ronald Reagan, Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. The Glass Bottom Boat with Doris Day and Rod Taylor and Arthur Godfrey on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 12 a.m. Eastern, Saturday night, Sunday morning. The Oklahoma Kid with James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart. That's Turner Classic Movies, Sunday at 4:45 p.m. Eastern. And To Have and Have Not with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. And that's on Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I think and hope that you will like it. That's going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. For me, I am getting ready to get my weekend on because now it's officially underway. I will be back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. Brian Camp, of course, will be here with me with sports and a whole lot of other things coming along too. Other than that, you could also check me out on Talk Back Live. That's next Thursday. That's next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Brian Camp will be there with me with sports as well. And I hope that you'll be here too. So that's Talk Back Live and the Coffee Hour. It's all next week. And we hope you'll be here. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host, Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.